launch conductor in mission control, we pause at this moment in our countdown to remember and honor the lives of each of the participants on the Celestis Memorial spaceflight. Their presence on this flight signifies a commitment to the opening of the space frontier shared by all of us. We wish the friends and families present today and all those who are with us in spirit all over the world Godspeed, good luck, and our thanks for allowing us to share this very personal time with you today. Elsie out. 5 vehicles armed, 3, 2, 1, fire. Missile away.
Hey, good evening. Oh, it is not Monday. Okay, if people are confused today, it's Thursday. Yes, because our next flight is coming up very quickly, we decided to get another update in closer to the launch, so you'll have fresh and new information. We have a number of missions that we're going to be discussing today. By the way, welcome once again. Good evening. The way we handle the show here is we bring on our CEO Charles, and we have a chat room capability here. This is an interactive mission update that we normally do. If you have any questions, anything you'd like to know, please go into our chat room and go ahead and type it up. And that's not our only source for you to receive information from us. Of course, you can email us at any time, and you can call our offices and talk to us if you have any questions whatsoever. There's a lot to cover today, so I'm going to get right into bringing up Charles. And if you hear any sort of difficulties in audio or anything doing a broadcast here, well, it's not going to be a great broadcast unless we have a little bit of troubleshooting that we need to do during the broadcast. So once again, if you have any questions, anything, our team is also in the chat room to go ahead and answer those questions as well. You'll see notices such as this coming up. So this is going to be, as I pull up Charlie here, I'll go through these messages that is from our company. Okay, so once again, welcome, and here we go with our CEO, Charles Chafer. Charles, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, Mark. Are you guys staying cool down there in South Florida?
No. I moved to Florida from Baltimore. It was 105, I do believe, there last weekend. So I'm staying here to cool off. Okay, because everybody else is suffering right now, and I'm sure it'll go by pretty soon. But I understand there's a number of reports, a number of updates you have for us today, so I'm going to go ahead and let you roll with it, and I'll just sit back in the wings until you call me.
Yeah, I will, and we have a guest in a few minutes also, so we'll bring him on board. Hi, everybody, and thanks for logging on to one of the best live streams we do, which are the pre-launch live streams. And it seems like we've been doing a lot of them lately. So tonight, we're going to focus on the next 3 missions that we have. We'll, of course, discuss the other ones that are on the manifest. But we're going to discuss the Harmony Earth Orbital Mission, Celestis 24, which is right now, this very minute as we speak, scheduled for July 10th. It's going to be a late morning liftoff out of Vandenberg Spaceport. We'll come back and talk more about that. But that's not a long time away. So we really want to focus on that mission today. But we'll also mention 2 other missions that we have coming. We have our Serenity Earth Orbital mission, also scheduled out of Vandenberg, and that will be first quarter of next year, looking like February. And that will be another Earth orbital launch, and we have a number of participants already on board. I believe reservations are still open for it, but perhaps not a long time. We also have our Perseverance mission. aptly named. This is the reflight of our Aurora mission, which did not succeed in reaching outer space. Fortunately, 100% of the participant payloads were recovered, and we have, and of course, as is guaranteed in our contract, if we don't get you there on the first try, you get a second launch on us. So we have arranged to fly. The Perseverance mission is now looking like June of next year, and it is a change. All of our Earthrise missions to date have flown out of Spaceport America. This one's launching out of Vandenberg. It's actually going to go orbital for 2 or 3 orbits before it returns back. It's a re-entry capsule with your loved ones on board, and that will splash down near Hawaii. So exciting next, well, it's almost this year, we'll have 3 more missions scheduled to accomplish. So everyone's saying, are you certain it will be July 10th? And the answer is always no. There is no certainty in space launches, and unfortunately, it's just the way it is. We're confident enough that that's the date that it's going to be attempted, that we have made all the arrangements to host people. We've bought all of our airline tickets. We will be there again, unless there's so many scenarios that could cause the launch to slip a day or two, weather, technical, range problems. And that's true on every space launch. It's amazing how well space launches are accomplished these days. But we're never in the position of being able to give you a guarantee of a liftoff date. We advise people from the moment they become our clients and before to not make non-refundable reservation if you want to come. By the way, all of our stuff is webcast, and if you want to sit in the comfort of your home and watch the launch on SpaceX, watch our memorial service on our live casts, then you're not traveling, you don't have any issues. But having said that, I've only missed one of our launches in the 30 years I've been doing this, because they're so amazing when they will occur. When they do occur, it's worth the effort to see them, and they always go. And when we get to the point where we're very, very close, right, like right now, as you've seen just lately, the Harmony launch moved a couple of days, and that was because of, as I understand it, they wanted to work on the launch pad. So here's the thing about space missions, which many of you know, whole lot of things got to go right. I liken it to a golf swing for a rocket to take off on time. Also, there is absolutely no premium, as my old boss, Deke Slayton, used to say, NASA doesn't give out any awards for an on-time failure. So if you look at what's going on in orbit right now with the Boeing Starliner spacecraft, which reached the space station, but it had 5 thrusters not working, and they have a series of helium leaks. NASA keeps delaying the return of that mission for good and sound reasons. They believe that they could come back and not lose their lives, but they also, why take that risk? And that mentality runs through everything that is done in successful spaceflight. So I'm going to focus next on Harmony and bring our president, Colby Youngblood, into the conversations. He's going to describe, for those of you who are here because you're coming in July 8th or 9th, we want to talk to you about that. But I don't know, somebody said they received an email saying Harmony was canceled. That email was not from us. If you got it, it's full on go. We've been integrated into the spacecraft for a while. Spacecraft will be integrated into the rocket, and the rocket will be on the pad fairly soon. So that is not an accurate conclusion. So, and I know people are asking about moon missions and other things. We will spend some time talking about the full manifest. And what a great joy it is for those of us here at Celestis that we have so many missions to talk about. Perseverance has not been canceled either. So, and we sent out no emails to the effect of Perseverance being canceled. Perhaps you're referring to the fact that it moved from Q1 to Q2. And we did, I think, inform our Perseverance families of that. And again, that's just the nature of spaceflight. We're really excited to be on this Perseverance mission. And it's such a cool mission for the people that signed up for it. Being able to have your loved one's capsule orbit the Earth and then return, and we return it to you. You have a flown keepsake. That's a cool mission in my mind. So anyway, all right, Mark, if you can bring Colby into the show. I'll introduce the president of Celestis, Colby Youngblood. He's been with us over 2 years, and I don't know how many missions you've done in that time here, but you got the stripes for the missions. And so what I'd like to do is say welcome to our live cast, and I know you want to welcome everyone as well. But if you will, let's talk about someone that's coming out to the launch to participate with us over those 3 days in July, and kind of summarize and talk about what's going on there. I know a lot of people are interested in that.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Charlie. And very glad to be here. Thank you guys for having me. It's been taking up a lot of my life over the last few weeks, scheduling this event. And I got to tell you, very, very excited about it. For those of you coming out to Lompoc and to Central California in about a week and a half or so, we have a really just cool set of events scheduled for you. Starting on day one, well, just real quick, just when it comes to travel, I'd like to tell everybody, when it comes to traveling, when we start making our plans to travel, that's a good time for you guys to do it. And we have our staff is traveling on Sunday, July 7th. The headquarters hotel is the Hilton Garden Inn in Lompoc. And that is where on day one, on Monday, July the 8th, is where we will have our registration. Registration opens at 1 p.m. at the Hilton Garden Inn. It's called the Conservatory Room. So that's where you will find the Celestis staff is in the Conservatory Room doing registration from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. At registration, that's where you're going to get your launch, your badges to attend all the events. You're going to get a family pack that's going to have a lot of cool information in it, information on how to get to the winery, information about the launch pad in Vandenberg, an event agenda, and all kinds of other cool stuff. And you'll get to meet me and Charlie and Faith, who a lot of you probably are familiar with Faith, who is our client service director. She'll be on hand as well. So looking forward to seeing everybody on day one at registration from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Day two is really cool. We're going to start at 8:30 in the morning. For those of you who don't have the opportunity to register on day one, on Monday the 8th, we're going to do registration. We'll have an hour early in the morning from 8:30 to 9:30 at what's called the Hennessy. It's the ballroom there at the Hilton Garden Inn. We'll be doing registration from 8:30 to 9:30, but then our staff has to prepare for lunch at the winery. So Babcock Winery, absolutely gorgeous winery, nestled in the hills of Central California. it's going to be an absolute treat for those of you who are able to attend and come meet us out there. So the lunch at the winery at Babcock will start at 11 a.m. on July the 9th. We'll be out there for 2 hours, and I've got a couple of guest speakers lined up to tell you a little bit about the mission and the rockets. We or the rocket. We have our first guest speaker is going to be Mike Johnson. Mike is the co-founder and CTO of the company COPS that our Harmony flight is aboard. Mike's going to tell us about it's called the Troop carrier, Troop F2 carrier. That's the carrier our Harmony flight is integrated on. And so we'll get to hear from Mike and about the company COPS and about the carrier and the satellite itself. And then we're going to have Andy Wolfsig, who is the local commander of the American Legion out of Vandenberg, Post 125. Andy works actually at Vandenberg in the control room and has a very, very interesting perspective to tell us, and he's going to give you some explanation of what it's like to be in the control room at a launch, and probably a little bit about the F9 Falcon vehicle that's going to be launching the Harmony flight into Earth orbit. And after our lunch at Babcock Winery, we're going to make our way back to our headquarters hotel, to the Hilton Garden Inn, and we'll have our memorial service. Memorial service is set to start at 4 p.m. at the Hennessy Ballroom. Just like all of our, if you've ever seen the Celestis Memorial Service, if you haven't, I recommend go look at one of our memorial services on YouTube. It's a very special event. You get to meet other folks who also have loved ones on board. You'll get to hear from me and from Charlie. And the coolest part of our memorial service is when the family members get to come forward and talk about their family members. So always good to see that and looking forward to it. And then after that, Charlie, after the memorial service is over, Charlie's going to give his famous pre-launch briefing. He's going to explain what can possibly happen out on the launch pad that day. And then we'll move. There's an adjoining room where we'll go next door for coffee and cookies and just shaking hands and getting to know each other for a little while after the pre-launch briefing. And that'll wrap up day 2. And then on day 3, it's what we've all been waiting for, is the launch. So we're going to provide transportation out to the launch site. The launch site is going to be our launch viewing site is going to be at the Cabrillo High School area. We're going to have a area that's going to be coned off just for us. We'll have tents and seats and refreshments out there, and so we will take everybody from the Hilton Garden Inn to the launch viewing site and back again. Like Charlie said, the launch, we don't have an exact time for the launch, but we know we have an idea that it's going to be late morning. So if you bought the attendance packages, you're going to be coming out there with us, do check our the Harmony event webpage. Check it regularly. As soon as we get a launch time, we'll send an email out to all the families, and then we'll update this event page as soon as we get it. But right now, for my planning purposes, I'm planning on the bus being there at around 9:45 in the morning, and we'll adjust that if we need to adjust it once we get the time. If everything goes kind of like we think it's going to go, we'll probably be done somewhere around noon, 1 p.m., and I'll bring everybody back to the hotel on the bus. And so that's it. That's the 3 days of events. So there's all kinds of great stuff to do, by the way. That area is really, really pretty. We were out there for a launch last year. We went and did some sightseeing, went to a little town called Solvang. So if you're going out there, try to make some time to go do some sightseeing, go visit other wineries, but it's a fantastic area to be in.
Great. Out of backstage. Thank you. Thanks, Colby. Yeah, it's a amazing part of the world to visit. If you saw the movie sideways with Paul Giamatti and others. It's centered there, and that region, since we first flew, our very first missions for Celestis in the 1990s were out of Vandenberg, and that part of the world has changed so much. And one of the best golf courses in America. So I know you're out here to celebrate a loved one, and I know you're going to be properly motivated to do that celebration, to witness that launch, to get that closure. But it's a great place to hang out for a few days, and we love going back there and have several missions there. Colby, if I can, I'm going to interrupt at this point. There are a couple of hanging out questions that we try to like to take before we forget about them. And a lot of things about fixed times for missions. No, we don't have those. Next lunar mission is called Destiny, and it's scheduled for Q1 of 2026. More announcements as we get nearer to it. Serenity scheduled for October. What has changed from Florida in October? I think we sent out emails to all the primary contract owners about this, but basically, SpaceX is the provider for these missions, and the ones that we fly on generally are called transporter missions, and they're great for the small satellite community, and they aggregate a large number of spacecraft, including ours, and launch them all at once. They're not usually orbit dependent, so going east versus going south out of Vandenberg doesn't matter. And as you may have noticed, SpaceX is launching like weekly out of Florida these days, and it's only likely to increase. And they are building more launch pads, but they had a sufficient congestion of flights so that they made the decision to move the transporter missions out to California. So most of our SpaceX missions, not all of them, but most of our SpaceX missions in the future, in the near-term future anyway, look to be out of California, which is, as we say, ain't that bad to have to go there. Let's see if we've got other questions. Is there similar flights from Florida soon? The answer is yes. We're not in a position to announce those yet, but we have relationships with providers that will be flying out of Florida as well. But for the next period of time, at least until we announce a Florida mission, the next 3 will be out of Vandenberg. Let's see. Waiting 5 years later. Well, thank you. We really appreciate the patience. This is not an easy world to get space launches in. We've managed to do 24 of them. No one else is even close to us in terms of being able to acquire launches and perform. But we always fly the missions we say we're going to fly, and we have a 30-year history of that. We also always say we cannot predict when those missions will occur, and the contracts everybody signs and the communication that we have with people try to get people used to the fact that spaceflight's still really special. And so the opportunities come, we grab them as we can, and we fly when we're able to do that. And we've had good success. We've flown a lot. Let's see. Thanks for the wishes of success. And Bonita, please do call. We'll be there to. When did we make that change on Serenity, Colby? I don't remember.
It's been a few months.
Yeah. Yep.
But what we're taking notes, just so everybody knows, we're taking notes on this. So if you left a comment that you haven't heard from us, we're going to be following up with you first thing tomorrow morning.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Always happy to chat. So Harmony, looking forward to meeting everybody that'll be out there and to be part of that mission, and also on all the other missions that are coming up, Perseverance and Serenity. And our other missions are more the deep space, and lunar missions are more in the 26 time period, which will be only 2 years after the most recent ones have flown, when we waited 28 years to fly the first one. So the pace of our activities is increasing, and that's because the world of commercial space is creating far more opportunities to fly these days, for which we're grateful. And I know our clients are grateful. But we'll put on a great experience when the launch occurs. So what happened with the last lunar flight? What are you going to do to fix this issue? Not enough tests. Well, okay, we've had this discussion on previous mission or previous live streams. We were on the Astrobotic commercial lunar ladder called Peregrine. Peregrine was launched successfully on January, I think 6th it was, or is that when the takeover was? I'm sorry. But early in January this year. It achieved the contract success criteria of reaching a translunar injection orbit, which is what everybody that signed on for Tranquility agreed was a successful mission. But it did not land on the moon. It had propulsion problems. And therefore, while we achieved a successful contract resolution, the mission didn't land, and we felt that we really we owed it to the people that had signed up with us to give them a reflight at no cost. So on Destiny, we'll be reflying everybody from the Tranquility mission that has notified us of their desire to do that. So that was Tranquility. I believe Astrobotic is working hard to fix there. We're not prepared yet to announce who the provider for our Destiny service is. There are 5 or 6 companies that NASA is funding to commercially land on the moon, and we'll make that decision and announcement down the road a little bit. But it was a successful mission that didn't achieve what we wanted it to achieve for our clients, so we're flying everybody again. All righty. Communication. Don't solely rely on emails received to follow the changes of launch schedules that we have. We always post first on our website when there's a change. And if you go to our website, look at Serenity, it'll say what I just said. It said Q1 2025. And so we send out lots of emails. Lots of people get them and open them. We track everybody that opens them. We even call people that we think that we didn't see that they opened them and say, hey, did you get that? So we're very thorough in our communications, and we do these live streams. But if you're ever wondering what's the most current launch date information that company has, that company being us, go to our website and go to scheduled launches. And that is absolutely current. We are religious about that. So take a little bit of proactive, it will help us communicate better with you. And so where's Enterprise now? Great question. Go to our website. You can see it. It's on a 2.5-year journey to heliocentric orbit. And we have a tracking function on our website where you can see exactly where it is now. That's the kind of question I like. I can answer it. So you are aware that venues make a difference. Not sure I understand that question. Launch sites, launch locations. I'm not sure. Sorry about that. Okay. Colby, what else do you want to have said tonight? There we go. But I can't hear you, Colby.
How about, I was having an issue with my microphone. Can you hear me now?
We now hear you.
Okay, good. Oh no, so I think I know what what Benita was trying to say. I think is so that we're aware that venues make a difference. I think she's trying to say that some people would prefer a Florida launch site versus, or a particular launch site versus another launch site.
Well, and we have that option if
yes,
it's a option to tell us which launch site that you want to fly from. It costs more because we have to handle it different. And it's also the case that we won't necessarily be able to perform it as quickly as we can the next available mission. So, and in fact, we've had some people that have upgraded and said, it doesn't matter to me the time, I want to fly from Florida. If you're one of those folks, contact us and we'll work with you to make that happen. Let's see, we got a thank you from Frank, and glad to keep you informed on your wife's mission. We take that responsibility very seriously. Mission status or tracking package, no, because it would change way more times than our staff of 10 people could handle. Also, please understand that a lot of we give out information when we're permitted to. We sign these things called non-disclosure agreements with everybody that provides our services because they want to control when mission announcements are made. They have all sorts of reasons why they want to be the folks that say this or that. Were we to try to take on that duty, we'd have a lot of mission providers saying, "What are you guys doing?" So that's what we try to do with these discussions and as we get closer to the missions, we have a lot of these discussions. And so I think the way we communicate with families is the best. Anytime people have a question, they can call us and we will give the answer that is to the best of our knowledge and ability. Okay, let's see. Okay. Rhonda, we'll look forward to seeing you in Lompoc, and love to go out there. Looking forward to making that trip quite a few times. All right, Mark, I think we may be near the conclusion, and there's no reason to stretch this guy out. We often go overtime on these things. So
yeah, well, real quick, Kobe, I wrangled a few photos concerning the Harmony flight. If you can kind of give us a summary of what we're seeing here,
sure.
And then we can end on a great note here.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so this is a great picture. So on the left, you see me with our COPS representative. This is what's called the handoff. So this is where your loved one's flight capsule is turned over from Celestis to the company called COPS. So your loved one's flight capsule is in that box that we're holding. And this picture was taken in Celestis headquarters late last year when they sent, most of the time our handoffs actually happen there at the company's headquarters. I'll I'll take that little black box, I'll put it in a backpack, and on my person, I will literally fly that on an airplane and hand it off in person to that company. But COPS they're actually pretty close. They're based out of around Austin, and actually I think they've got headquarters here, and some of them live in Austin. But the gentleman that you see here lives in Austin, around Bastrop, and he came to pick it up, and we were able to have a really cool photo op there. And that was, again, this is COPS taking ownership and possession of your loved one's flight capsules. And on the right-hand side of the screen, those are some examples of flight capsules that are on board the Harmony flight. That tube that you see next to our flight capsules, that's the tube that the COPS engineers created specifically to hold our flight capsules. And what will happen is the engineering, it's actually already happened, but they took those flight capsules, which are 13 millimeters in diameter, and dropped them down that tube. It's just a little bit bigger, so they fit nice and snug in that tube. And I believe there's about 4 of those tubes. And so those flight capsules fit nice and securely in that tube. And then they took that tube and integrated those 4 tubes inside the satellite next to one of the avionic components. And so that was a picture of one of the COPS satellites. And this was released by COPS earlier this week. This is just a breakdown of what COPS calls their mission. It gives some input on where it's flying. Obviously, we know it's flying from Vandenberg in July. The mission's launching from Space Launch Complex 4 East, Slick 4 in Vandenberg, which you can find that on Google Maps. The rocket is a Falcon, SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket, and the Harmony flight on board the F-Troop satellite is going to be in a sun synchronous orbit. And off to the right, you see the Falcon. There's a diagram schematic of the Falcon 9 rocket.
Sun synchronous, often called polar orbit. The missions that fly out of KSC go eastward, and they're in an equatorial-ish orbit. Vandenberg, they go south, and they're in a polar orbits. Polar orbits are particularly good for Earth observation because you cross the equator every 3 or 4 days, and you can take repeat views of croplands or military troops or whatever you want. So Vandenberg is a national asset. It's a national defense asset, but increasingly commercial missions are being supported out of Vandenberg. Okay.
All right. Charlie, I love it when you talk science, because basically all I'm doing is just reading the subtitles that are coming across the middle of your body.
Right.
When you're explaining this portion of it. So that's the fun part about that.
Well, we can nerd out on this stuff forever. I can be found in the Hilton Bar in Lompoc during hours, and happy to geek out with anybody that wants to join us. It's one of the great things about these missions is, in this case, it'll be 75 people from literally all over the world, and who none of us know each other at all. We spend 3 really significant days together in the lives of these people, and we emerge with great lasting friendships and fans. And
yeah,
that's a really for a memorial service, and I always try to put myself in the mind and heart of the folks that we're serving. It can be uplifting, and it can be a great way to assuage some grief. So I recommend it. And we really value everyone that comes to the missions, because it's not easy to do, as people are seeing. Oh, it moved. Well, okay, I have to change my reservations. But it's worthwhile. And we hosted over 600 people at our most recent mission. So this will be a nice gathering of folks that are there to do something really important, celebrate a really important closing. And we really take that into heart. So we've done this 24 times now. And as a result of that, we put more people in space symbolically than all the governments of the world combined. We really do open up space for lots of folks that otherwise wouldn't experience it like they do at our missions. So we're happy to have everybody attend, happy to have everybody follow along with us, and we'll see you there. And for those of you that can't do it, SpaceX has a webcast of the mission, and we'll be posting the timing of that on our websites. And we will webcast live the memorial service. So you'll be able to see folks talking about their loved ones who are on board. And that's always a really compelling thing as well. And we'll get to visit our friends at Babcock Winery, who've become a home away from home for our Celestis events. So, all right, I'm stoked. I'm psyched. I hope you've answered questions that people have. And updated agenda will be posted on the website, I think, early next week. And just keep asking questions, and we'll have answers for you. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Colby. Great to have you on.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Hey guys, any questions you may have, remember, call ahead, call down. A lot of people don't think of questions until sometimes after the broadcast is over. Also remember that you can watch this broadcast again on our YouTube channel in case someone came in late, or you want to forward the link of the YouTube channel to any loved ones who will be flying out with you. But there's communication all around the board here. There shouldn't be anything you don't know based on our flights here. So just feel free to rewatch the video if you don't know of anything, or call us if you don't know of anything. We like to keep you fully informed. There shouldn't really be any questions about how you do this or how you do that after we've given you all the answers, which we're proud to do and we're happy to do. So on behalf of our CEO, Charles Chafer, and our president here, Kobe Youngblood, you guys have a great flight. This is going to be fantastic, and we'll talk to you soon. The staff will be out there in California. Bye. Ciao. See you later.
This is the launch conductor in mission control. We pause at this moment in our countdown to remember and honor the lives of each of the participants on the Celestis Memorial spaceflight. Their presence on this flight signifies a commitment to the opening of the space frontier shared by all of us. We wish the friends and families present today, and all those who are with us in spirit all over the world, Godspeed, good luck, and our thanks for allowing us to share this very personal time with you today. Elsie out. 5 vehicles armed. 3, 2, 1, fire.